Good morning, dear hearts. We are on lesson 80, which means we have made it through the second section of new lessons in the workbook, and we start our new review tomorrow, so stay tuned. Today's lesson obviously follows beautifully from yesterday. Oh, and by the way, please subscribe. I guess we'll never know when I'm going to say that. Let me recognize my problems have been solved, because it follows, let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. Now, there is a nuance here, because yesterday was let me recognize the problem, and then this is let me recognize my problems, that now it's plural. So do I really have more than one problem? Well, I don't, but I think I do. The lesson begins with, if you are willing to recognize your problems, you will recognize that you have no problems. Your one central problem has been answered and you have no other. Throughout this lesson, a few times it says, one problem, one solution. One problem, one solution. And that's the truth. We have one problem. We believe it is that we are separate from our source, our creator, from God. And the one solution is that that's a false idea. We are not. We have been given the means to recognize and to know that. And it tells us salvation thus depends on recognizing this one problem and understanding it has been solved. Now, I know there are those who don't like that word salvation. So we can easily say happiness, freedom, thus depends on recognizing this one problem and understanding it has been solved. Again, happiness and salvation, our freedom, forgiveness, all are the same. So our forgiveness has been accomplished. Happiness has been accomplished when we recognize that that was our problem and it has been solved. Now, this idea of our problems and salvation or happiness, we've had this mentioned to us in a few of our previous lessons. Lesson 26, which was my attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. In paragraph 6, it told us any problem is yet unsettled that tends to recur in your thoughts during the day. We were to use any of those problems, because my belief in my problem is what is attacking my invulnerability. And the truth is, no matter how many problems I thought I had, there was one, because I was believing that I am somehow separate from God. And then in lesson 41, truly a favorite, that God goes with me wherever I go. In the second paragraph, it tells us the separated ones, and the sightless ones, as we used yesterday, the separated ones have invented many cures for what they believe to be the ills of the world. But the one thing they do not do is question the reality of the problem. The reality of the problem of us believing that we are somehow apart from God. We make up many reasons for our own unhappiness, but all of that will be washed away. It will simply be let go when we realize that we are indeed sustained by the love of God and we are not separate. And lesson 50 is the next one, the last one I want to bring in here now, because in lesson 50, that I am sustained by the love of God, it tells us here is the answer to every problem that will confront you today and tomorrow and throughout time. Let me recognize my problems have been solved, because I am sustained, I am upheld, I am protected by the love of God. So there is no reason for me to ever put myself into a place of great unhappiness and strife, because my problems have been solved. My one problem has been solved. In fact, it never was. It was a false idea to begin with, and I am sustained by the love of God. So herein is the solution to every single problem I ever thought that I might have. This lesson tells us that you have accepted salvation or happiness for yourself by bringing the problem to the answer. This is, again, We have to bring the darkness to the light. We bring the problem to the answer. We bring our belief in separateness to the Holy Spirit. That is, our belief in separateness is our darkness. The light is the Holy Spirit. The light doesn't go to the darkness because that would be coercion, but we are free and have the will and ability to bring that darkness to the light. The practicing for today, just this one line in paragraph 3, you are entitled to peace today. Isn't that lovely? And we are entitled to peace every day, every single day. The practicing is, to repeat this idea with deep conviction, to really believe that this is true as frequently as possible, and be particularly sure to apply the idea for today to any specific problem that may arise. So say as quickly as you have that recognition, that awareness, we must have the awareness first. Let me recognize this problem has been solved. And then it tells us the very last paragraph, let us be determined not to collect grievances today. I'm done with grief fences today. Let us be determined to be free of problems that do not exist. The means is simple honesty. Do not deceive yourself about what the problem is, and you must recognize that it has been solved. So the many, many, many different problems that I have believed I have that are part of my life here, my existence, what I have to go through, I can let them all fall away and realize the one problem that was the reason I thought I had many was that I believed for the moment of insanity, that I am separate from my Father, and that is not true. So that's it for today. I hope this helped. So please like, please share, please subscribe, please comment, and please be here tomorrow when we start our second review. And it will be probably a little bit of a longer video because we're going to go through the introduction, because there's lots of good information there. And pray that we all have the recognition that our problems have been solved. So, namaste.